Hello, dear viewers, and welcome to a new episode of Business Insider. Tonight we'll be talking about how can HR development, human resources development, boost coastal revenues. And we have a lot of coasts here in Egypt, thousands of kilometers of coasts in the Mediterranean in the north, in the Red Sea in the east, and also dozens of lakes. So this is our main topic for tonight. How can HR development boost coastal revenues? And we have the great pleasure of having with us here in the studio Dr. Shahira Gayar, a holder of a PhD in change management and also the developing human resources consultant. A very good evening to you, Dr. Shahira. Thank you for joining us.
Good evening to you. Thank you.
And please allow us, dear viewers, first to watch a report about our main topic for tonight, and then come back and start our discussion.
More than 90% of the inbound visitors in Egypt are beach tourists, according to a study issued by the Egyptian Center for Strategic Studies entitled Sustainable Development, the Role of the Blue Economy in Promoting Sustainable Development. The study said that Egypt has attractive beach activities in addition to yachting, diving and fishing activities. It continued that the tourism sector contributes about 11.9% of Egypt's gross domestic product and absorbs about 12.6% of the total employment. In addition, Egypt's tourism sector contributes to about 21% of the total non-commodity exports and 19.3% of foreign exchange earnings. In a press conference held at the new administrative capital in Prime Minister Mustafa Madbouli said the development project of Ras Al Hikma on the north coast is the biggest foreign direct investment deal in Egypt's history. Premier Madbouli said that it comes within the framework of Egypt's 2052 urban development plan, which includes developing the cities of Al Alamein, Ras Al Hikma, Negila, Sidi Barrani, Jarghoub, Matruh and Saloum to accommodate millions of people and provide job opportunities for Egyptian youth. The Abu Dhabi Development Holding Company will set up Ras Al Hikma Company as a joint stock company in which Egypt will be a partner. He added that the project will include residential districts, world-class hotels and tourist resorts, entertainment parks, cutting-edge road infrastructure and service facilities such as hospitals, schools and universities. It will also include administrative and service buildings, a free economic zone for information technology industries and logistics hub, a central business district and a large marina for tourist yachts and ships. It is expected that the new city to attract 8 million tourists to Egypt, and there will be a dedicated international airport for tourists.
Welcome back, dear viewers. Thank you for staying with us. We are here with Dr. Shahira Gayar, a PhD in change management and the developing human resources consultant. Dr. Shahira, Egypt has a lot of coasts, thousands of kilometers in the north, in the east, and many, many lakes. So how can the HR, human resources development, boost those coastal revenues? How do we get this equation working?
Well, we are one of the lucky countries that have thousands and thousands of kilometers of coastal lines. We have many lakes, and we have the Great Nasser Lake in the south. I think human resources should start at early ages of education, starting middle school, high school, vocational training and vocational education. A blue economy is a diversified economy. It's not only tourism or hospitality. We could also have different types of remedial and healthcare entities or projects on the coastlines we have. We could have special types of agricultural and medicinal plantations. We could also have fisheries and whatever industries are related to these projects or these fields of production. So if you view it from the HR point of view, We have different fields and different areas of training and developing people or the workforce that will be working in such projects. It's huge.
Yeah, in all domains of what you call the blue economy. Could you tell us more about that blue economy? A very interesting
Well,
term.
blue economy refers to the sea color. You could also have different types of sports, yachting, surfing, sports fishing. We could also have even industrial activities that are related to the sea, energy, the waves, energy, wind energy. We could also have things that are related to oil and gas that
drilling
are
and
drilling.
the
They are
sea,
included
yeah,
in
the
the
ocean, yeah.
blue economy. The thing is, I think Egypt is not even halfway to its potential in its blue economy. We are adopting huge projects. We are building roads and new cities and new communities like العلمين, راس الحكمة, الجلالة on the Red Sea, different ports. Our coast could be, we could have different points or stations serving as marine hubs, huge maritime activities. What I'm concerned with is not the investment in a project, because that's already in process. We have huge and important projects. What I'm concerned with is the human capital, the Egyptian person, the Egyptian professional that will be working on such projects. These people need to have special education, special training, and an overall knowledge about what they are going to be working on. People working on a coastal city, even in hospitals and schools, are required to have a special type of culture of the coastal community. The weather affects the economic activities. Some of these activities are seasonal. It used to be all seasonal, but now it's not, because we're having even universities and full communities in new communities that are being established. I think that training these people to whatever they are, they will be involved in, is very important, with a specific focus on the blue economy activity, tools, technology, and diversity.
Indeed, a very, again, interesting vision. And reading some statistics here, global statistics, it says that the blue economy is estimated to be worth now $1.5 trillion US, that's globally, and it is expected to double by the year 2030, so that's in 6 years from now, to $3 trillion US. And the statistics show indeed that you know, there is a potential rise, or an expected rise, in the size of the blue economy, despite the fact that it has given way to the so-called green economy, because we always hear about the green economy. So it seems to be the main competitor, or the main challenge or barrier before its advance.
Well, talking economics now, it's like having a color palette, green, blue, and other colors. About the blue economy, there is something important about it nowadays also, that people are, we're talking about green economy or green management that gave way to blue economy or blue economic activities. We are all economists. I mean, we are having an eye to the seas and oceans of the world. Most of the season oceans of the world are still virgin areas for economic activities, given that we treat the environment well. We have an eye on business and eye on the environment. That in turn, the demand for such applications and needed tools have developed and upgraded the means of technology, the management outlines, the tools. There's a whole school now for management that is specifically devoted to blue management and before green management. And there are international standards and requirements now for any activities that would be conducted either onshore on coastal lines or offshore in the sea itself. The good thing that there is a huge responsibility and accountability for economies that are adopting blue economy. Egypt is one of the lucky countries who have diversity in the coastal lines. We are a Mediterranean country, and the Mediterranean Sea is a very rich sea with gas, oil, tourism. I recommend highly that we start making or offering our own cruises on the Mediterranean. We only do Nile cruises.
Right. I was just going to mention the Nile River because we were talking about the coasts and the lakes. So I wonder if the River Nile is part of this
blue economy. Yeah. It's an aqua resource and aqua activity.
There is fishing.
Yes, of course, and in the Nasser Lake we have great potential for fisheries and fishing activities and industries related to fishing activities. I recall that in one of my courses, the students, the project was about making bags and shoes from fish leather.
Very interesting.
We have new industries. Also, a lake like Nasser Lake, you could initiate whole communities around the lake. It's huge. You could have things like aqua activities, water sports, tourism. The tropical weather there, the tropical climate there is very much on demand in the market.
And of course, I mean, not of course, but I mean, I guess, and you correct me if I'm wrong, that industries or activities related to the blue economy will probably be environmentally friendly and will probably be green as well, or not necessarily, maybe.
It's a must to be environmental friendly because it's a long-term investment. If you do not respect the aqua environment, it's easily damaged. It's very fragile. International laws are enforcing such practices of being environmentally friendly.
Okay.
It's a must.
Again, another global statistic, Dr. Shahira, is that the blue economy supplies vital sources of protein to some 3 billion people worldwide. 3 billion, so that's almost one-third, or maybe more than one-third of the globe. As you mentioned earlier, some of the industries or activities related to the blue economy include maritime shipping, fishing, aquaculture, coastal tourism, undersea cabling, seabed extractive industries and deep sea mining, marine genetic resources, and biotechnology. So I mean, it's a very diverse world.
I told you it's huge,
Mm.
and the diversity keeps multiplying. Each and every day we discover and find out more things to do around our seas, lakes, and rivers. Egypt might seem, you know, we have a lot of desert in Egypt, but we also have a lot of water. I have a friend who told me that in places in the Red Sea and the River Nile, places to the south, the aqua life or the marine life in these places is so rich that they could fish with an empty hook, just moving something in the water.
Wow.
It's huge, it's diverse, it's rich and wealthy.
So let's see how can HR help here, HR development. Let's take, for instance, something like marine genetic resources or biotechnology, which seems to be very important maybe to food security or other
Well, talking
issues.
about something like biotechnology, I think we lack sufficient research. We have the resources as for the River Nile, seas, lakes, but people are not, I mean the human resources, the marine human resources are not well equipped with sufficient laboratories or research centers. They need funding as an allocated resources for their special researches. We have much simpler activities like marine tourism, aqua sports, hospitality entities that are related to coastal activities. I think we should start with the simpler, like the 80-20 effect. If we spend and exert smart 20% of effort and allocated human resources, we would get 80% of the revenue needed. And then we work on the long-term human resource investment, having marine biologists, having economists who are specialized in blue economy. We start building up human capitals that will develop and push forward such a type of economy. We have been practicing blue economy for thousands of years, but we didn't know that we were doing so. We were not categorizing things. We were not we didn't have a special plan for developing places and developing people. Even nowadays we have many coastal communities that are emerging, but I think they need to be backed up not only with buildings and technology and funds. They need very much to be backed up with people, human resources that are specialized, well educated, well trained for such activities. We even have special types of crops that are supposed to be grown or planted in coastal lines.
And I guess, Dr. Shahira, the situation now in Egypt, or the general environment or atmosphere, encourages this. I mean, we are having, as you mentioned, new cities, new Al Alamein city in the north coast. We're going to have Ras Al Hikma. I mean, this north coast is very, very, very rich. And also there is keenness from the part of the state to encourage anything that's related to the building of new cities or to boost tourism and so on. And the Red Sea, we also have a very rich marine life. So the
I really
environment
want more
encourages.
communities
Yeah.
along the Red Sea coastal line. I would very much love, not like to see communities by Nasser Lake. I think it is also a matter of national security. Planting people and cultures
new
and communities in the border lines of all around Egypt.
Developing Sinai, yeah.
Not only Sinai, we need also the west part of the north coast is very important. The coastline of the Red Sea is very important. Upper Egypt, especially in Nuba and Halayb, Shalatin, places like Jabal Alba, the Alba Mountain, Nasser Lake. Part of Nasser Lake is within Egyptian land and the other is within Sudanese land. So we have our west borderline. It is exposed because it is all desert, but the other three sides could be easily secured through having people living and working there.
Yeah, it's an issue of national security as well, as you mentioned.
It is.
Indeed. So, Dr. Shahira, the blue economy is represented by three interconnected pillars: economic, social, and environmental. Could you tell us about each of these three pillars? Yeah,
true.
Economic, social, environmental.
That's true. I would like to start with social. The Egyptian culture has, or socio-cultural environment started to be altered a little, but not fast enough. We are used to living around the river Nile. Families and extended families were in the need to be resident close to each other. Exploring new lands, new activity was related to working abroad. But if you're an Egyptian and working in Egypt, that means that you are working on your hometown. You don't leave your hometown. Now having new communities and spreading the culture of exploring and starting communities away from one's hometown is starting to develop. So if we are talking blue economy, we need to enhance, encourage, and spread this culture through whatever means that are available. And again, I say it starts with education. People tend to go for what's beneficial for them. We are motivated by pain and gain as human beings. So I need to magnify gain for people who will be the pioneers of the blue economy. Starting investors and mega investors down to the operational level or the entry-level human resource.
But for this to happen, Dr. Shahira, there has to be a lot of incentives, I guess. Incentives offered to those people who will populate these areas by the government, by the private sector who's going to employ them. So we need incentives.
Some incentives are already on. They are in process, building new cities, offering relatively high wages than the usual, building schools, hospitals, and universities in new communities. So people are motivated to move to a coastal line city or new coastal line city or a new coastal line community. But they also need entertainment. They need a vision. They need a career path. If I'm a fresh grad or an entry-level HR, I need to see myself working in this community 10 years from today. I need to have stepping stone and climbing up the ladder of hierarchy in the organization and climbing up the ladder of the society by having a bigger income, more potential. I think this is the thing that is not really clear yet in the policies of encouraging people to go for blue economy activities. Of course, people like maritime graduates, sea captains, and oil engineers.
That's their field, their
yes,
hobby.
But I'm talking about the unconventional activities. We need specialists in hotels on coastal sides. We need specialists in fisheries and factories that manufacture the products of the sea or the lake. We need people who are specialized for hospitality activities and tourism activities that are related even to lakes or the River Nile, like in Nuba and Shalatin, Nasser Lake. That's the social part or the social cultural part.
You know,
technology could be both adopted and copied and then enhanced. Management, we do not need to reinvent the wheel. We could study best practices of such economies. The Mediterranean countries, especially the Mediterranean countries, the Far East have very good case studies and examples.
True.
Even South Africa, they have good practices about blue economy. As for tourism, I recommend Spain and Turkey, Italy, Greece.
And they too, of course, I mean, they have a lot of coasts and very rich coasts. You know, Dr. Shahira, I didn't know, I personally did not know that there were so many colors for the economy. I was just making a quick search here.
No, we're having a new palette now for economy.
And I saw as much as 10. This is what I saw. Of course, the only one I could guess easily is the black economy. I mean, I know what a black economy.
That's the wicked one.
Yeah, exactly. Unauthorized.
Yes, that's the wicked one.
Yeah, exactly. So, but we have...
Let's go for the colors of nature. Green, blue.
Yeah. There is the brown, the golden, the purple, the white, the silver, the red, the gray, and the black. So maybe in another episode we could, maybe that's an idea, we could talk about those 10 colors. And,
we could,
inshallah. But, you know, winding up here our talk about the blue economy and how can this be beneficial for Egypt and how the atmosphere now in Egypt encourages that direction, really. Tell us about how can HR in specific, I mean HR development, help here in training, in, you know, educating, I don't know, in directing.
Well, HR has several functions that we could take one by one. For example, recruitment and selection. If we do not have the candidates, if you don't have the people who are ready to launch such an economic activity, we could, the quick thing is that we outsource. We hire people who are non-Egyptians as a start. And the good thing about the labor law of Egypt is that if you hire a foreign manager, the law obliges you to have 2 deputy Egyptian managers. So by definition, we are building up potential and second row leaders in such an activity or domain. That's for hiring or recruitment and selection. As for incentives, I need to come up with a package including wages, fringe benefits, certain types of value-added training or education that the employer or the organization would provide for its employees. We also have the training part. We need to assess our training gap national-wise and per domain, and then we go to the micro level per activity and per organization. I believe that human resources for any projects, especially mega projects and communities, human resources make it or break it. And we all have experienced such incidents where people have upraised an activity or a project, and other people have downgraded the activity. If you have one tourist that have a bad experience in an aquamarine activity or a coastal hotel, the word of mouth and now the reviews, they go global in seconds, and vice versa.
Unfortunately, dear viewers, that's all the time we have here. We hope you've enjoyed this very interesting topic of the coastal revenues and the role of HR development in boosting them in the blue economy, and how can Egypt go blue now and not just green, in the company of Dr. Shahira Gayar, a holder of PhD in Change Management and Developing Human Resources Consultant. Thank you very much, Dr. Shahira. Always a pleasure to have you with us. And maybe in another episode, we could talk about the all of the 10 colors of the economy.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And thank you, dear viewers, for watching us. Please stay with Nile TV.